Hello everyone, welcome to another deployment card coverage for Bespin Gambit for Imperial Assault. This time we're going to be looking at the Mercenaries faction. Probably the biggest winner from the Bespin Gambit, the Mercenaries. It definitely feels like a box for them if you're a skirmish player. It's where all the fun is. I don't necessarily feel like this is going to suddenly make them a top tier faction. I think Leia and the Rebel Blast is still really strong. I feel like Imperial Trooper List is still good, but there's a lot more scope for experimentation now with the Mercenaries after this pack. They've got some good cheap filler units. They've finally got some troopers. Or any 3 group activation. And as usual, they have a plethora of skirmish upgrade cards as well. So I'm pretty excited. Again, I've got a regionals coming up soon. I can't say I'm suddenly going to try and throw together a scum list for it, but once the regional season's done, I'm definitely going to be running for some scum in the seasonal kit tournament, see how I get on with them. So first card I'm going to look at is the regular Ugnaught Tinkerer. So you get 2 regulars in the pack. You get 3 of the miniatures. I feel like they're nice enough. Okay. Should be pretty fun to paint. Again, I'll get a tutorial up once I start. This guy's 3 points for 1 figure per group. He has a surge for bleed and a surge for pierce 1, 4 health, 4 speed, a black defense die, and a blue-yellow attack. He seems pretty terrible, but then the real thing is the spot weld. So it's an action, and it lets you place the junk droid into an adjacent space. So the junk droid is another new thing introduced in Bespin Gambit. It is a companion. I'm going to be honest, we're not 100% how these guys are going to function properly. I'm hoping that for Skirmish, they're going to be termed that all of the astromechs, which you get a token for, count as junk droids. Because at the moment, it appears you can only have 1 junk droid token in play at a time, which kind of feels not what we were going for. To me anyway, I don't know. But the junk droid has got 1 health, speed of 4, doesn't roll any defense die, and rolls 1 green attack and has +1 damage. So yeah, it doesn't seem that impressive, but it doesn't cost you anything other than an action on your Ugnaught. So the junk droid readies at the start of your activation. It activates as though it was part of your group and may use your surge abilities. So when the Ugnaught activates turn 2, he can then activate the junk droid as well. So seems okay. It's going to be a combat figure. It's not going to swing the game, but it can be an annoyance. +1 damage, rolling a green die for a combat attack. With a pierce 1 and bleed, it can be annoying, but it's not going to be anything more than that. I don't believe it can interact, so it's not going to be earning you a crap ton of points in like the drinks and dealings or anything like that. We'll go on to the Elite Ugnaught. This guy's 5 points for 7 health, so it's only an extra 3 health for 2 points. I don't feel like the the abilities and surge abilities cover that cost. I'm not impressed with the elite one, but he gains PS2 instead of PS1, but maintains the bleed. Spot weld is still the same as an action. He can place a junk droid adjacent to him, and then overclocked is an action. You can interrupt with a junk droid to perform a move or an attack. And then the same scrap battalion, which is just the rules for how it activates. So depending how the junk droid works, whether Ollie or not sure it maybe, then you could create one with a tinkerer, overclock it to send it somewhere, and then when your regular tinkerer activates, you get to refresh it maybe. But again, it definitely needs an FAQ. I can't see it working that way, because then you could chain a junk droid all over the place. But again, it's a junk droid, so what's it going to do? I feel like this guy's too many points. 5 points for only gaining PS1 and the ability to waste one of your actions to make your junk droid do something. I don't feel like you get enough out of this. If you're going to take them, I'd probably stick to regulars, to be honest. The regulars are still really nice in that it's a 3-point mercenary deployment card. There aren't that many. In fact, they only had access to 3PO, I believe, by taking the Imperial Rebel faction. That was the only way you could get a 3-point deployment card. Yeah, moving on. We have the thing that did really excite me. Not so much now, unfortunately, but the Scum Troopers, finally. We have Wing Guard with the Guardian and Trooper keywords. They are 6 points, a deployment cost of 2, so they're good for reinforcements for Scum, finally. 3 figures in the activation, which again is really good. Scum have previously only had 2 figure activations, so they now get to try and fill up the board with the troops a little bit more. So some miniatures for that. It's fine, nothing special from those ones. I think nowhere near as nice as the ISBs, but it's good. I'm just happy to actually have some troops for Scum. They come with a stat line of 3 health per model, speed of 4, a black defense die, and the usual trooper attack of blue-green. The surges are +1 damage and recover 1, which recover 1's really interesting when you could consider their ability, which is keep the peace. When a hostile figure declares an attack targeting a space adjacent to you, if that space does not contain a friendly guardian, you may suffer 1 strain. If you do, the attacker suffers 1 strain. Limit 1 keep the peace ability use per attack. So they're not quite Royal Guard, adding in defense to the adjacent figures, but they do hurt you when you shoot at somebody they're protecting. So it's really interesting, especially when they take a strain. If you can save them till the end to activate, they get a recover. So it's pretty good. Standard health per points for the troopers. Nothing overly stand out about them, but they just open up some options in the Scum list. I'm tempted to try them in an Imperial list, to be honest. Maybe. Running the trooper spam with some Wing Guard instead of one of the Stormtroopers, I feel like it can work. I'm not 100% yet, but we'll see. The elites have +2 damage as a surge instead of +1. They have recover 2. They have the same keeping the peace, and they also have squad training, so they gain the trooper reroll. When they're next to a friendly trooper, they get to reroll 1 attack die. So it's really good, puts them on a par of the stormtroopers, and they go up to 5 health. So I really like the elites a lot, actually. Unfortunately, I still don't feel like the scum have enough filler to want me to take them to protect some Trandors or something like that. There's not enough scope. I can't get my head around that list just looking at it yet. I need to sit down with all the cards out there and see what squads fall together. Then the final figure is the Bosque Guard. So this is one everyone's been really excited about. For me, it's very aggressively priced at 8 points. Looks like they're trying to make up for the mistakes they made with IG and Boba Fett. Dengar was nice and cheap, but didn't really do enough for it. It's in Bosque at 8 points, has 10 health, speed of 4, a white defense die, an attack of red-green. His abilities is always adds +1 defense, always adds +2 accuracy, always adds +2 damage, and can surge for PS2. So it's pretty damn good. It's just consistent. You're not relying on the surge to do damage. At the very least, if you don't get the PS2 out, the +2 damage means that effectively you're just doing the damage your dice rolled. Whereas if you get the PS2 as well, that starts getting to be extremely good. What other abilities does he have? So he has an action for indiscriminate fire. Choose a space within 3 spaces and in your line of sight. Then roll 1 green die. Each figure on or adjacent to a space suffers damages equal to the damage results rolled, and strain equal to a number of surges rolled. So if you can get Bosque into a good position with an Imperial officer, if you want to take him in Imperials, or Gideon, or some of the movement command cards, he can absolutely rip through just anything, basically. Indiscriminate fire into a group. Whatever you don't kill, you can then target with an attack, because indiscriminate fire is not an attack action. So it can be done and you can attack. So really strong. He also has regenerate. At the end of each round, recover 2 damage and discard all harmful conditions. So innate regeneration's an interesting concept that we've added in with Bosque. Everything else has been surges to regenerate, so that's pretty cool. I still don't feel like you can hang him out to dry. I feel like if they can focus fire, troopers will take him down. Same as with Luke. You don't want to throw one big attack at him. You want to just pick him off with 1 or 2 activations of troopers. Just do consistent damage. You can't dodge all of it, and eventually he'll go down. But the white dice, 10 health and regenerate, is pretty nice. And you also, you can't rely on stunning him through the turn. You need to attack him early to get that stun. And we're on to the upgrade cards. So the first one I'm going to cover is Under Duress. This is a unique upgrade card, 2 points. It is not an attachment. When a hostile figure suffers strain, for each for each damage result he wishes to prevent, the player controlling the figure must discard 2 command cards from the top of the deck instead of 1. So it's really good with the scum playstyle that was hinted at when we first released the game. But the scum were going to do stuff to you differently. It's not necessarily upfront damage, but it churns through that command deck extremely quickly. And then, especially if you've got a couple of transitions and Bosque and this card, it's gonna wreck people. It's not pleasant, but you've just spent 30 points on 2 elite Trandos and Bosque, so how are you going to get up to your 6 activations? It's not the easiest, but I like it. It's good. I need to sit down and plan some lists, but at the minute I feel like Bosque with his indiscriminate fire and under duress can burn through a massive stack of a command deck if you get that double focus result. And yeah, there's enough cards and command cards that do strain now that it's going to be good fun. Then the last one is a 1-point skirmish upgrade. Again, unique. This one is an attachment and it's Headhunter. Exhaust this card when a hostile figure suffers strain during your activation. Reduce the amount of strain suffered by 1, and then the player controlling that figure must discard 1 random card from his hand. If he cannot, the figure suffers 1 damage. So Headhunter is really good because sometimes it's a card in hand you need to be more worried about. I feel like, again, this can just help you kill something quicker. If they've spent a card, if they're not holding on to it, you can push extra damage through onto a figure with the strain. It's pretty tricky because you're reducing the amount of strain by 1, so you're basically moving where that card has to come from the deck to the hand. It's good, it gives you another level of control, but again, it's gimmicky. You need to make sure you've built your list around dealing out strain for it. An under duress Headhunter combination could work. I can see it. I don't know exactly what cards I'd want in it at the moment, but I feel like there's some play there. I'm excited by the Scum faction here. I feel like it's adding a lot of options and different things. The 3-point activation from a basic Ugnaught is good. Having troopers and the 3 model groups is really good. Elite Wingguard, I feel like the sweeper winner of this pack. That's only because I'm not a massive fan of powerful single figures, so I always lean towards the troopers. Bosque is obviously powerful, so it should be interesting. That's about it, guys. If you like the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again. You follow me on Facebook, Dice Hate Productions on Facebook. Give us a like and join in the conversations there. You can find me on the FFG forums. It's Chris Sheriff, at Chris Sheriff on Twitter. I always try and respond if anyone tweets at me, stuff like that. So yeah, if you have any requests, get in touch with me in one of those many ways. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.